What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news each and every day. I'm Drew Bosley, that's Scott Savage, and you can join us at InsideTheGame.ca, our YouTube channel, Inside the Game Official, our FAST channel over at Rad TV, our TV streaming platforms around the globe, just like Roku, Amazon Prime, Jinx Esports TV, ESTV, and a whole lot more. However, we are on the audio side only. That's right, if you just want to listen to your eardrums, we got you covered. Hit us up on Fired Up Network. We're across 212 platforms. We're all over the place. Scott, what's on the show today?
Today, we're going to talk about how GTA's publisher wants to raise the price on games as they get longer. The Baldur's Gate 3 developer also teases what their next game may be about. Mortal Kombat Fatality bundles are again back in the headlines as the community grapples with the prices. And the Game Awards could be coming to Fortnite. Kind of, in a way.
Kind of, sort of, absolutely. Scott, dude, I've been chipping away at Spider-Man 2's Platinum. I'm getting ever so close now at this point. The hours keep climbing, and so do those trophies keep popping. And I gotta be honest, feels good to see those trophies pop versus those achievements on Xbox. What about you?
Be that as it may, I'm working on my Talos Principle 2 100%. I'm not gonna get that flashy Platinum trophy at the end, but I will get the sense of accomplishment.
Dude, I tell you, man, I've never been so deflated when I 100%ed Mirage and nothing happened. I'm like, nope, you know what? Now I'm platinuming Spider-Man 2 just so I can get that, satisfaction of that plat pop. And I can't wait to get there.
Something more than golf clap.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. The other thing is too, I'm just hooked on the photo mode. Man, I love that photo mode. Insomniac just crushes it. But either way,
great. Right
now it looks like GTA is gonna maybe crushing our dreams. They want to charge us some more money. Let's talk about it. Got topic number one is a hot one. Here we go. Let the comments begin. GTA's publisher thinks longer games should cost more. Grant Taylor Hill over at Insider Gaming has this to say. Strauss Zelnick, the CEO of Take-Two Interactive, the longtime publisher of the Grand Theft Auto series, has gone on record professing a complex concept that would see gamers charge more for longer games. He rolled out a confusing algorithm that would effectively have players pay more for a longer game based on their expected entertainment usage. Simply put, the longer the game and the more you're expected to play it, the more you'll pay for it. Oh, really? It makes sense, right? Question mark. It might be a confusing concept on paper, but it makes sense. How many of us had paid $60 for something like Grand Theft Auto 5, only to then play the game on a loop for thousands of hours over the next decade? It's a damn good deal for gamers in that respect. That's why Strauss Zelnick suggested during a financial call that there's a clear monetary issue in gaming with, quote, frontline prices, end quote, being desperately low. In terms of pricing for any entertainment property, basically the algorithm is the value of the expected entertainment usage, which is to say that the per hour value times the number of expected hours plus the terminal value that's perceived by the customer in ownership if the title is actually owned, not say rented or subscribed to. And you'll see that bears out in every kind of entertainment vehicle. By the standard, our frontline prices are still very, very low because we offer many hours of engagement. Thanks to Exputer for the quote. If Zelnick were to apply this logic to the sale of the Grand Theft Auto 6, which is being revealed next month, hopefully, fingers crossed, it would likely carry a price tag worth several $100s. Dude, it would be so expensive people wouldn't buy it. That's the thing, right? That's how expensive the game is expected to be. Fortunately, Zelnick also stressed that publishers don't have the inherent ability to impact the recommended retail prices, no matter how much they want to. Scott, what are your thoughts?
That's interesting. That's a little bit of an interesting thought behind the curtain there. They don't exactly set the prices. It's more to the retailers. So there is a little bit of education we could all have from this matter, this quote here, but it's not boding well with me. I see this argument come up in the opposite direction a lot, where this game is only, and I say this jokingly, only 20 hours.
Yeah.
I can't believe I spent $70 on that. And that to me is the opposite problem. That's a gamer entitlement. Whereas this seems to be the you you own whatever opportunity we have to give you more monetization, because I see the marketplace and how they make money on these games.
Yep.
GTA being the main one.
Holy,
It's
man.
all shark cards, it's all in-game items, it's all very much designed to keep you in that world time and time again. And so it does make sense. I understand they want to make more money off the game, of course. But you already are. That's where I would stand.
Well, that's just it. How much money has GTA 5 made? GTA Online, dude, it's one of the biggest IPs on the entire planet. And yet it continues to make a buttload of money each and every day, each and every week, each and every month, each and every year. GTA sales are at the top. You get the top games of the month. GTA still on there. At this point, I don't know who doesn't own GTA 5, but it's always on that list, right? It's somewhere in the top 10 for the month of sales. And the shark cards are there. Like you say, right? We're online. We're buying all these other cosmetics. We're buying this. We're buying that. We're already invested. We are already hundreds of dollars in, Scott. And then what do? They want to give you GTA Plus. The subscription side of it too, right? This is why they're like, well, we can only charge you $70, but we will nickel and dime you on every other item in our game. It is a fine line that Strauss Zelnick comes out to say this. I don't think he's necessarily wrong either, but at the other side of it, right? If it's only a 20-hour game, should we only be paying $20? We only pay $1 per minute or $1 per hour? Like, how does that work? Where does your standards lie? If we're in for hundreds of hours, like I know some people who put 400 hours into Assassin's Creed Odyssey. You're gonna charge them $400 for that? How about The Witcher? $200 for that, right? Like, where do you draw the line? If we let that model go out to the publishers, dude, there will be no standard. We will be all over the place as to what we would pay for a game, and it would be mind-blowing to see one game be $5 and another be $250. We're already seeing the special editions come out, and if you're like me and you're a collector, those collector editions can be like $250, $350. Where do you draw the line?
Oh, and I think even if we did let this go for one or two spot, it's going to cause an issue with the industry if this were to go forward, because there's only so much time in the day. We're already having a hard time dividing my time of the day between all these different amazing games. Yep. And that's the thing, they are amazing games, but I don't have the money to go and spend $300, $200 on every game here. It's just unreasonable. And if everybody was to do that, you would see everybody would get in Call of Duty lineup, everybody would get into the big games, and you'd never see anything new come along.
Well, that makes a great point, right? What would that do to our indies in that sense, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Would that crush our indie market, our indie developers? I don't know. Or maybe we could watch some of them rise because, hey, you want to play our indie title that's only 10 hours? $10, right? And we do see that as it is. We do right now see these games being priced everywhere. The sale goes on, game's now $5. Game launches, some of these indie games launch with a discount already on Steam. Hey, get it while it launches. At launch date for the first week, 20% off. It's like, man, you guys put your heart and soul into this game. Don't you deserve what you want to charge? But I get it on the other side of it too, right? If we're going to be there expected for hours on end, man, I'm right now, I'm in. I'm on a 22-day streak with Red Dead Online getting my gold. Right?
No, that's right.
Hundreds of hours in. Literally, I am hundreds of hours into Red Dead 2, Red Dead Online. You combine the two. I can only imagine, man, if they want to charge me $200 for that game, dude, I'm not playing it, right? That's the other side of it too. So it's a fine line. It's an interesting concept from Strauss that he likes this idea, but Strauss is like, no, that won't work in our industry because you don't have people playing Red Dead. You don't have people, believe it or not, even though it's like everywhere, GTA 5. So when you bide for our time, how do you keep us there? Well, you keep putting out new content, new monetization options. And it seems to me like they're making just enough money to keep themselves going just fine.
Well, this does seem like it kind of brings up a subscription model. This is the future. We get nickel and dimed for our time, and that ends up being dollars per month.
Yeah, man, what an interesting concept. Got Baldur's Gate 3 developer teases next big game as Xbox announcement nears. Westy Yimpool over at IGN, fresh from receiving a number of the Game Awards nominations, and off the back of its hit game Baldur's Gate 3, developer Larian Studios has teased its next project. In a X/Twitter post, quoting Larian calls for the Game Awards votes, boss Sven Vink said, quote, "Seeing our little niche RPG make such waves is very motivating," end quote, before going on to talk in vague terms about the studio's next project. Quote, "I wish I could tell you about our next big game, but this is really encouraging us to ensure it pushes many boundaries," end quote, Vinky said. Quote, "I'm very excited about it," end quote. It would be pretty disappointing if he comes out and goes, "Man, our next game, I don't like it." So, it's just, right?
Yeah, you don't see that come out of these places very often.
No, not at all. However, Baldur's Gate 3.
Sea of Thieves.
Well,
or sorry, Skull and Bones is what I meant to say.
Yeah,
not since Skull and Bones.
I was gonna say what? Dude, Baldur's Gate 3 just won a ton of the Golden Joystick Awards. Now we're getting into the Game Awards where they're nominated all over the place. This is far from a niche RPG. I get it because it is the roll of the dice, literally in the game, right? You are rolling the dice, which is, I guess, where he's talking about it a little bit. But their next big game, do they stick with the D&D side, Scott, or is this the game that launches Larian Studios on the next level that everybody just anticipates whatever comes next in 6 years?
That would be really, really cool to branch outside of the Baldur's Gate D&D universe, but I have to imagine it will be somewhat based in the D&D universe. But then again, this is a D&D universe is almost limitless, so you really could just continue on and do your own entire story, the entire narrative branch on its own. And after Baldur's Gate 3, I think everybody would just eat that up.
I would think so. Do we get like a Baldur's Gate 4? Is that a possibility? Do we go back into Divinity Original Sin? Like, that was there as well, right? That was one of their major titles, and then they took on Baldur's Gate 3, which then exploded to a whole other level. Do they stick with the same formula, or do we see them go first person, third person, stick in that realm, but just change up the perspective and the story? Maybe that's enough to tie us in, bring us into something a little bit different. How could they... Do they stick with the roll of the dice? Because this is where I'm stuck right now, right? Baldur's Gate 3, one of the biggest games of 2023. Hands down. Everybody's talking about it. Story, side quest, this is all I hear. But it's this roll of dice, turn-based combat that I'm like, I can't pull the trigger because that's not my way of playing.
Yeah, I would like to see an option for that, perhaps, but
sure,
to do both systems simultaneously would be way too much. And I know that the core fandom for these kind of games really do appreciate the dice roll, the turn-based. So unfortunately, it seems like it's a scenario that this style of game just ends up not being for me. I think I'm most likely pushed away from what Larian is going to make, even though it's incredible content.
No, that's the biggest thing, right? This is all I hear about. The engagement, the stories, and the side quests, and now these characters are so memorable and meaningful quests that it has me excited to go, man, do I just deal with the combat and get into the game and fight through?
I think you have to.
Oh, man, it hurts. I was looking, it was funny because I was on PlayStation last night. I'm looking at it going, $93. What if I don't like it, man? It's $93. I think it's $100. The game is not cheap, right? So it's one of those things. I'd hate to get 2 hours in and go, forget it, there goes $100. I'm like, I'm not doing that. So I'll wait. Maybe one day I'll get it on sale or something if that comes around. But until then, I'm just kind of sitting here listening to everybody else, gush over this game.
If you're Larian, though, you can't burn your original fandom by switching over to something like that. We've seen that happen with Final Fantasy, and Final Fantasy 15 was one of the most derided because of its change in systems. Sure, no, it changed. There's a balance to strike.
Final Fantasy 16 is incredible, right? Again, snubbed at the Game Awards. I'm just saying.
I think that's the same combat style as 15, if I'm not mistaken. So,
but just seeing
I hope we're finally warming up to it because I really liked 15.
Well, that's just it. But yeah, I definitely I'm more curious to see what they're working on next, and they're partnering with Xbox on this one too. So there's a lot to kind of get into, and what does that look like? Because now it is meant for a console. More Baldur's Gate 3 is meant for PC and then port it over to console, right? So now they have a different way of looking at this. Very curious to see what the future lies here, and when do we see more news on this game?
Oh, a long ways away, I'll say.
Scott, the garbage continues as Warner Brothers confirms price and date for Mortal Kombat 1's controversial seasonal Fatality bundle. That's right, the bundle is less than expected, but more expensive than Omni-Man. More expensive, dude, than the DLC fighter. Are you
The whole
kidding?
character?
The whole character. Yeah, let's get into it. Cat Bailey, IGN. Amid the ongoing controversy surrounding Mortal Kombat 1's monetized fatalities, Warner Brothers Games has confirmed the price and release date for its seasonal Fatality bundle, which will feature unique Halloween, Thanksgiving, and winter fatalities. In a statement to IGN, Warner Brothers Games confirmed that the seasonal bundle will cost 1,200 Dragon Crystals when it goes on sale on November 17th. Currently, Dragon Crystals, Mortal Kombat 1's premium currency, can only be purchased with real-world money. The cheapest and best value option for 1,200 Dragon Crystals is the 1,250 Dragon Crystals bundle, which costs $9.99. The announced price of the bundle is considerably cheaper than the $30 that some of the Mortal Kombat 1 fans speculated it might cost. A number based in part of Mortal Kombat 1's Halloween fatality of $1,200 Dragon Crystals as a standalone release. Warner Brothers Games has lately been backpedaling in the response to criticism over its monetization, offering players who purchased the $10 Halloween fatality access to the full seasonal bundle for free. Despite the lower than expected price, the bundle is still more expensive than the popular DLC character Omni-Man, who cost $7.99. Omni-Man also comes with 2 unique fatalities of his own. While Mortal Kombat 1's premium fatalities are controversial among fans, Mortal Kombat 1 has also drawn criticism for its poorly reviewed Switch port, various bugs, and other issues. It has sold more than 3 million units since launching in September, but its sales in Europe appear to be down compared to Mortal Kombat 11. Scott, do you want to go first, or do you want me to tear them a new one?
Well, there's a lot in here to unpack, actually.
Man.
So if you want to look at it in one way, there was a fan outcry, and there is a bit of a backpedaling,
Which is
and
good.
it appears that has earned the initial purchasers about 3 times the value they would have received otherwise. So there is a little bit to be learned here, that some of your protest can reach ears. But I have a feeling you have a lot more stronger words for this. I don't like this situation one bit. And the only solution I can see is that maybe they give you a way of grinding Dragon Crystals out in the game so you don't have to pay for it. That's the only way I can see it working.
That's not happening. That is not going to happen. Dragon Crystals are their way of getting your money, right? That's the biggest thing. Mortal Kombat is turned into a money grab, unfortunately for me. And I'm heartbroken. Dude, at the end of the day, this kind of breaks me a little bit to see one of my favorite fighting franchises turn into this monetized hungry machine. And it comes from the top. I don't think it comes from NetherRealms. I think it comes from Warner Brothers, right from the top, where they said they want to turn all of their games, all of their big AAA titles, franchises, into a games as a service model, and then just monetize the crap out of all of us. And that's where you're starting to see Mortal Kombat 1 go. Dude, I will not pay for these. I don't care if it's $2. I am speaking with my wallet, and I suggest everybody else does too. If you want them, by all means, go ahead. But for me, I'm not doing it. I think this is garbage. Fatalities is the staple of what makes Mortal Kombat so unique and so different compared to every other fighting game. And now you want to charge us for that? You want to charge us for the characters, new DLC characters, the bundles? That's fine. I'm good with that. I get that, because it takes time to create those characters. I understand it takes time then as well to create a fatality, but I would believe, Scott, there'd be a lot more work into going to creating a character than a fatality that you only do like 1 or 2 button presses and then the fatality performs in a cinematic, right? Like that's kind of how it plays out, where there's so many other factors when creating a character that you need to make sure that it is accountable for when it fights. Whenever that person is fighting Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Shang Tsung, Liu Kang, like, dude, the list goes on and on and on, right? But you have to have your same principles set in place. It's just, I don't know, it just seems so dirty to me that this is the way they're going. The seasonal fatalities I think are cool, but that should come as a free appreciation to all players. And then charges
I think so.
for this. You think so too?
Because, yeah, well, if you did that just to free, it's enough to rejig the game, shake it up a little bit, and get everybody back onto it, just to check it out. And that might, again, cause more people to buy Omni-Man, for example, and monetize it that way. But it seems so strange to me that this is monetization about the core fatality. That's so core to Mortal Kombat that
Yeah.
now I'm wondering if, because of this outcry, if there's so much anger towards NetherRealms and Warner Brothers, is Street Fighter 7 just going to have really, really brutal finishers next year?
Maybe. Might be the way to go, right? I can't believe at this point nobody's competing with Mortal Kombat. And if it keeps going this way, maybe somebody should step it up, because there could be an opportunity to overtake them.
I've made this call out before, but let's go Bloody Roar.
Man, there's a shout out. Scott, this one's kind of interesting. It's Jeff Keighley and the Game Awards are in Fortnite. That's right. David Carcassali over at PSU. The Game Awards 2023 doesn't arrive until December 7th. But if you really can't wait and want something a little bit more palpable right now, you can hop on Fortnite and check out the Game Awards Island. There you'll see in full Fortnite fashion, Jeff Keighley himself, and you'll be able to vote on which Fortnite Island from this year is the best one. It's a specially made category outside of the rest of the show, and it's available for players to jump in right now. Here is the island code: 0853-1358-8532. This isn't the first time a real-life event has been translated into Fortnite, but it is a first time for the Game Awards, and it's the first time any Game Awards related show has been recreated in one of the nominated games. Interesting to see this partnership grow and expand. Obviously, he's got a thing going on with Mustard. The two of them seemed like Mustard's always out every year on the Game Awards, so part of me is not all that surprised that something now is starting to tie in. This is, I think, a taste of what the future holds for Jeff Keighley and Fortnite, and maybe other opportunities down the road, Scott.
Well, it does really make sense to put all these big things together. Jeff Keighley is one of the biggest names in the industry.
Yep.
The Game Awards is the biggest event in the industry. And then you have Fortnite, which is the biggest, maybe longest running constant game in the industry as well. So it does make sense. But it's funny how this becomes the metaverse. Fortnite has become the metaverse.
It certainly has. Yeah, I'm surprised we're not actually in there watching the Game Awards. Maybe that's coming next year, right? I think that's something that probably Jeff and the team over at Epic are working on to see what the opportunities lie ahead there. But yeah, either way, Jeff Keighley and Fortnite. Not a surprise match. Maybe a match made in heaven, though. Scott, we got some interesting games out today, and one we've been leaping in faith in for a while, but it's coming to a different platform than you'd expect.
That's right. I have a whole lot of questions for this one. We have Assassin's Creed Nexus VR, and that comes to the Meta Quest systems. Flashback 2 is also on PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, XS, Nintendo Switch, and PC.
And there we go. We are going to be jumping in with that leap of faith for Assassin's Creed VR, so make sure you check that out coming up in the near future. And that'll wrap up today's show, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. This has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news each and every day. We'll be back again tomorrow. I'm Drew. That's Scott.
And we'll see you inside the game.